have merged the next two panel discussions. The topic is making students industry ready, the academia challenge, and ensuring skilled workforce for the global market. So basically, this panel will look at ensuring a skilled workforce, both for the Indian as well as the global market. And thankfully, you will have a new moderator for this discussion. I'd like to call all the panelists on stage. Can we have Dr. Siddharth Kantilal Jabade, Vice Chancellor of Vishwakarma University? A round of applause for him. Can we have Dr. Keshari Verma, Vice Chancellor of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj University? Round of applause. Can we have Professor Swapnali Jadhav, Director, D.Y. Patil University for Skill Development? A round of applause for her. Dr. Supriya Patil, Professor and Head of Department of Management Science at Savitribai, Phule, Pune University. A round of applause for her. Dr. Poonam Kashyap, Vice Chancellor of Alard University. Dr. Ganesh Rao, Director, Pune Business School. Dr. Shriram Dawkhar, Director, Sinhgad Business School. Dr. H.T. Jadhav, Dean, Faculty of Science and Technology, SNDT, Women's University. Dr. Parag Amin, Registrar, Atlas, SkillTech University. And Rajkumar Mishra, Regional Head, AU Small Finance Bank. I'll request Atul to moderate this discussion.
All right, thank you, Rajneesh, and welcome to all the panelists. It's such a pleasure to be your moderator here, and I think I'll be moderating the largest panel here. So welcome to this combined panel discussion on the topic of making students industry ready from the academia, and also making them skilled or skilled at the international level for facing the global challenges, right? So let's start. I think we'll go in a sequence. So to begin with, I'll just put it on mute. All right. So to begin with, Madam, we'll start from you. What's your take on establishing the Center of Excellences from the industry side, so that you can equip these students and get them skilled in the right way for facing the challenges, present-day challenge and future challenges, not just in India, but at a global level? Maybe. देखो क्या हो गया?
Yeah, thank you. So what I feel at university level, first of all, to establish the Center for Excellences, we should have the good industry tie-ups. Now, many industries are coming up to have the, or to establish the tie-ups. Maybe it can.
क्या हुआ? ठीक हो गया? Yes.
Started. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to actual delivery of maybe imparting the required skill sets within the learners, the industry, what we have experienced is they are backing out at some steps, you know. Maybe that proactive approach is missing. So when we establish the center of excellences within universities, so universities need to make sure that the problem which is you know, there in the industry, a real-time scenario should be picked up, and the faculty should be equipped so as to they can train the people, and a good team can be formulated with the industry experts, and we can actually give some solution, a solution which can be implemented in a real time. It's not just for the documentation purpose, but it can actually help the society, or maybe you know, the students or the learners in coming times.
All right, okay, yeah, thank you. So more of industry involvement and basically the value add that they bring is what you're pointing out.
Right, right.
So if I may continue with a continuing question, what would you think, madam, would be the way forward for getting more industry involvement? If I could, yes, you can. Yeah.
Good evening to all of you, and thank you for the question. I represent a state university, Savitribai Phule Pune University, and our challenges are slightly different as compared to the other universities in the city or maybe the nation and even globally. However, when I speak now, I'll just make a general statement without really focusing on the challenges of the state university. So when we, at the university, at my university, we already have centers of excellence. So we already are connected with the industry, and we do have setup where the students are benefited. Now what we have done from our side, now a little bit extra that I would like to point out here, is that we have set up a platform. Because industry wants skilled people. We want to skill our, skill our students. So we have, at the university, have a IT platform now, where we invite the industries to register. We also then put the students on board. Now we, team them up so that the right match can be created. If an ex-industry needs something, we can provide that. Now, this would be a start. The industry which sees maximum benefit, with them, we would like to take further and set up more centers of excellences than what we have already.
All right.
So a small commencement, somewhere we need to begin, the dialogue.
Right.
And once that the conversation sets in, we can definitely go ahead with it.
All right, so it's like creating a registry and then getting into the fitment of the need.
Right. Because what happens, not everybody can actually, get the correct person. Like, if you simply advertise in the newspaper, for example, you might have hundreds and thousands of applications.
Right.
But here we are providing a platform where it will be probably shortlisted. So less burden on you, plus an advantage to our students as well.
All right,
And
so it brings in diverse opportunities and diverse requirements at the same time.
At the same time, right.
Right. Okay, thank you so much. So continuing, sir, the question would be to you in terms of while the industry academia interface and collaboration is building up with the new announcements of the internships, how do you see that coming in as a value for both the academics and the industries, as well as the students who would be the beneficiaries?
Thank you. Namaskar. Just I want to inform the effort done by our university, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj University, on this aspect. Our university is the first higher education institution in Maharashtra to collaborate with IBM, India Career Education, to run program in the area of emerging technologies in computer engineering, curriculum in emerging technologies such as AI and ML, data science, cloud computing are designed in consultation with three experts of IBM and TCS.
All right.
This is the important effort made by our university. Ms. Sital Soni from IBM has already mentioned this before.
That's right.
Our university, IBM Lab, is a center of excellence to promote innovation in artificial intelligence and machine learning. IBM and TCS are among many corporate giants that award certification to the students upon successful completion of course and taught by industry experts. We have some MOUs. MOUs has been signed by IBM, CE, TCS for running joint program design, curricula, pursue joint research activities and such. MOU signed with Octoje for EdTech services as well as training and mentoring of faculty and students. MOU proposal submitted to Maharashtra Knowledge Corporation Limited, promoted by the Department of Higher and Technical Education, Government of Maharashtra and such other bodies for skill development. ये कुछ हमारे प्रयास रहे जो कुछ सैद्धांतिक बातें होती रही, लेकिन हमें लगा कि हमारा विश्वविद्यालय जिसने पहला प्रयास किया, IBM के साथ जो हमारा कोर्स चल रहा है वो बहुत अच्छी तरह चल रहा है। हमने ये भी प्रयास किया कि उनके वही एक्सपर्ट आएँ, पढ़ाएँ, वही सर्टिफिकेशन भी करें। हमने यहाँ तक प्रयास किया है कि हमारे बोर्ड में उनके एक्सपर्ट को हम मेंबर बना के रखें। जो फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी प्राइवेट यूनिवर्सिटी की होती है उस सब का हमने फ़ायदा लेते हुए हमारे तमाम कोर्सेज को ऐसे हमने डेवलप किया है ताकि हमारे एक्सपीरियंस प्रोफेशनल्स हमारे यहाँ आ सकें। लगातार हमारे कॉन्फ्रेंस, सेमिनार, वर्कशॉप हो रहे हैं। इंटर्नशिप के लिए हमारे स्टूडेंट्स संपर्क में रहते हैं उनके, और इस प्रकार जो कुछ सचमुच में इंडस्ट्रीज़ के साथ हमारा संबंध होना चाहिए हमारे बच्चों का, उसको हमने भरपूर प्रयास करके आगे बढ़ाया है और बहुत ही सक्सेसफुल चल रहा है।
Right.
इस यूनिवर्सिटी में ज्वाइन करने से पहले मैं छत्तीसगढ़ के सबसे बड़े और सबसे पुराने यूनिवर्सिटी पंडित रविशंकर शुक्ला यूनिवर्सिटी का वाइस चांसलर रहा हूँ। मैंने वहाँ प्रयास किया लगातार कि कैसे हम इंडस्ट्रीज़ में जाएं। मैं स्वयं जाता था वहाँ, हमारे बच्चे कुछ ट्रेनिंग के लिए तैयार होते थे, जाते थे, और पढ़ाने के साथ साथ हम उनको उसकी ट्रेनिंग भी देते रहे और कई बच्चे वहाँ जॉब पा लेते थे। जैसे कि हमने निको इंडस्ट्रीज़ में लगातार संपर्क किया। हमने क्रीडा के साथ लगातार ऐसे कोर्सेज चलाए जो कि रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी का रहा। BO के MO का कार्यक्रम हमने बहुत सक्सेसफुल चला, क्योंकि सोलर सिस्टम में जो कुछ एक्सपर्ट की ज़रूरत पड़ेगी उसको हम करें। मैं हमेशा वो कहता रहा छत्तीसगढ़ में, यहाँ तो मुझे 100 साल हुए, वहाँ 5 साल वाइस चांसलर रहा, कि इंडस्ट्रीज़ बताए हमें कि उसको कैसे एक्सपर्ट की ज़रूरत है। वो बताए कि हम बच्चों को क्या पढ़ा के भेजें उनके यहाँ ताकि वो सफल एक्सपर्ट साबित हो सके उनके यहाँ। जनरली क्या होता है कि जो कुछ हम पढ़ाते हैं, जो फील्ड में जाके काम करता है तो उनको बहुत प्रकार की कठिनाई उत्पन्न होती है। लेकिन मेरा ध्यान हमेशा ये रहा कि जो कुछ भी हम करते हैं शहरी क्षेत्र में करते हैं। अभी भी चर्चा कर रहे हैं बहुत लिमिटेड लोगों का, हम एलिट क्लास एक अलग अलग वर्ग पैदा कर रहे हैं। मेरा ध्यान उन सब के पीछे जाता है जो दूर दराज में हैं, जो रूरल एरिया में हैं, जिनके यहाँ केवल एक कोर्स चल रहा है, लिमिटेड टीचर हैं, उनका लैब ठीक नहीं है, उनका इंटरनेट कनेक्टिविटी नहीं है, और उनकी संख्या बहुत ज़्यादा है। मैंने पूरे देश की यात्रा की है। मैं चेयरमैन था कमीशन फॉर साइंटिफिक एंड टेक्निकल टेक्नोलॉजी गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का, जिसके पहले चेयरमैन दौलत सिंह कोठारी थे। मैंने पूरा देश में देख के प्रयास करने का कोशिश किया कि कैसे उन तक हम अच्छी शिक्षा, अच्छा ट्रेनिंग का जो कुछ भी प्रोग्राम है वो ले जा सकें। अगर हम आइजोल की बात करें, ईटानगर, इम्फाल की या कोहिमा की, मैं जाता रहा हूँ और देखता रहा हूँ, मुझे लगता था कि हम जो कुछ कर रहे हैं लिमिटेड लोगों के लिए कर रहे हैं। वहाँ तक वहाँ इंडस्ट्रीज़ नहीं है, मणिपुर में कोई इंडस्ट्रीज़ नहीं है, पूरा मैंने घूम के देख लिया। आइजोल में वही स्थिति है, पूरा का पूरा वही स्थिति है। हमें ये भी ध्यान देना होगा कि हम उन सब को कैसे फैसिलिटी दे सकें, कैसे ट्रेंड कर सकें। हम विकसित भारत की कल्पना करते हैं, किन लोगों के लिए विकसित भारत की कल्पना, कितने लोगों के लिए करते हैं? पूरा देश जब विकसित होगा, जब हमारा पूरा देश आत्मनिर्भर होगा, तब हम कह सकेंगे हम आत्मनिर्भर भारत के निर्माण कर रहे हैं।
So maybe a look
तो
into the.
मेरा ये कहना है कि बाकी और चर्चा करते रहेंगे, लेकिन हमने जो प्रयास किया
Right.
छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज यूनिवर्सिटी में, और वो सफलतापूर्वक IBM के साथ हम कर रहे हैं, TCS के साथ कर रहे हैं, और वो बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण एक कार्यक्रम है, उसको हम और बढ़ाना चाहते हैं। ऐसे ही हम सब लगातार प्रयास करें तो हम सफल होंगे, ऐसा मैं मानता हूँ। थैंक यू।
Dhanyawad, sir. Thank you so much. You brought in an aspect of using local resources for solving local problems and also looking at solving global challenges. So continuing with the same discussion, sir, in terms of the internships, while universities are engaging with the industry, bringing them on board as part of the board of studies and getting their help in designing the curriculum, are there also opportunities being created for short-term internships, long-term internships, which would lead to employability within the companies which you would partner with? What's your take on that?
Thank you. I'm Professor Siddharth Jabade. I'm representing Vishwakarma University. It is located in Pune. And I have my colleagues, Professor Amol Randive, who takes care of our career advancement, and Remy Thomas, who takes care of our industry connect. So answering your question, sir, in short, because as you said, internships are one of the ways of interacting with industry. And yes, there is a possibility, but one important aspect is what these internships will lead to. Because one is working in the industry and working for the unmet need and the real world problems of the industry to really come up with the impact for the industry as well as the students as such in terms of gaining knowledge, skill and competence. These long-term and short-term internships are there. However, we have also tried and attempted to create a living laboratory on the campus. So we called it as industry on campus. So not necessary that industry, our students have to be in the industry going out, but inviting industries on campus and treating our entire campus as the living lab for the industry. And not only industry, with also the higher learning institutes such as IIT Bombay. So we have Vishwakarma University Innovation Institute in collaboration with Professor B.K. Chakravarti from IIT Bombay, wherein we try to work with industry on a real world problem and addressing the unmet need of the industry, and then converting that project into the internship, correct?
Right.
So that students on campus with industry are also involved in the concept of internship, which is applied research internships, so on and so forth. That is one way. Another way, as you rightly said, is involving these entire industry experts, subject matter experts, in the curriculum development, so that our curriculum is really practical, pragmatic, need-based and relevant, so that what we teach, because curriculum is the fundamental essence, is with the industry. And this has been an enriching experience, not only for students, but also faculty, because nowadays we know it is not important how much we know, it is important whether we can apply what we know. That is point number one. And point number two, in this large language model world, ChatGPTs, there is enough of information, corroborated information, every single answer, and students are addicted.
Absolutely.
But what is not there is the experience. And that experience can be gained through these meaningful internships, where students work on real world scenario, real world problem, and attempt to apply what they have studied in the classroom, so that there is a right nexus between the theory and the practice. So that when students are there for the industry, they are nourished with the skills, and they can apply what they know in evolving situations in the industry, because today we don't know how industry is going to unfold tomorrow. But they have capability and capacity of applying what they have studied, the concepts and the knowledge in evolving situations. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, sir.
I take this opportunity to thank APAC and MSSDC, as well as I am honored to be sharing dice with all my co-panelists here. Thank you so much.
No, the industry on campus is a good concept, and I'm sure it's adding a lot of value to all of the stakeholders. Shifting gears, let's look at how we can bring in international universities, collaborating with international universities, whether it is adding value to our Indian persona per se, in terms of curriculum, in terms of competencies, in terms of capabilities. What would be your take on that, madam?
Thank you so much. And I'm representing Alard here. So you rightly mentioned, because we all are talking about student experience and globalization. The most important thing which I think we are missing here is the training to our faculty as well. So I think if we include the international universities, it is very important, especially in designing the curriculum. Because when we talk about the change, we have to start making that change from the home itself. We have to get ready to change ourselves first, then we can ask others to make these changes happen. So one thing I would like to say, I think our faculty also need to have some collaboration with international faculties, where they can actually understand how students are taught differently, how they are actually bring different type of skills in their students, in their curriculum, to make them ready, industry ready from day one. And by saying that, I will say if we collaborate with the international industries or universities, then these people can help us to build our curriculum at that level, where we can actually see that our students are getting those skills from the day one. Their curriculum is designed not only basis on the fundamentals, but also basis on the experiments which they do in their classes. Say, just a quick example on this, if we say that we want to discuss the case study in class, so we all know that once we throw a question in the class, we will get the same answer to the same question, but in a different form. So that different way of answering the same question can actually help all the students who are sitting in the class in a different manner. Because when you talk about a high-level student, like high understanding, so they will also learn something out of it. Middle-level student will also learn something out of it. But somebody who is the backbencher or not able to understand or grab, what does that mean? By listening that, they will also understand. So we need to understand who our students are. We need to understand how we will develop our style of teaching in the class to those all students who are one are at the bottom level and another are at the top level. So we cannot say that those students who are at the top level are the good students. But making those students who are at the lower level, to bring them at somewhere in the middle, is your achievement, is not the student's achievement. Then you can tap your back and say, like, you have done some difference in that. I have learned it from my UK's universities, because there we first understand how to, like, whom we are teaching, who are our students, and how to teach them same topic, same subject in a different way. So we change our way of delivery as we go along, because we have to make sure that everybody will understand. So I think collaborating with the international universities will help our faculty to understand how we will look at different way. Secondly, to make our student industry ready from day one, we will be able to understand how we will include different way of, different structure in the curriculum, where we will have the case-based studies, different type of discussions. We have already discussed since morning, we were talking about skills. So problem-based learning, flipped classroom. So these are the different ways where we can let our students learn by themselves. And instead of being a teacher, we just be the facilitator, where we will tell them that your answer is good, but what about this way? You can think it about other side as well. So that way student will not feel like if I will say this answer, I might be like not good, or my answer will be not good, or teacher will say ki you are not up to that level. So we have to try to understand that not everybody can be the same level. So how we will make sure that our students, no matter which level they are, everybody will feel the same in the class. So I think this is very, very important.
Right.
And it is very important for even our faculty as well, that our faculty should get the training to do
All
so.
right. No, it's a good point. It's not just the pedagogy, but it's also the andragogy that needs to be looked at.
Absolutely.
Because in higher education, we are actually dealing with adult learners. Yeah. And we've been talking about experiential learning, we've been talking about industry-oriented learning, student-centric teaching, and this is a valid point, which leads us to the next question, to our next panelist. Have you looked at, or maybe thought of implementing some of the industry best practices, or maybe international best practices at your institution, at your university?
Okay. Actually, the difference in culture or difference in education system that create the difference in global practices. If you see the Western education system, even if you consider one country like the US, where the education system is very flexible in terms of choice of courses, choice of credits, right? Again, if you see, it is very rigorous. It is very rigorous, or it is very relevant to that particular what is happening in the industry. Again, every course is not like just like a degree, but it should map with the that particular job roles, right? So in foreign universities or in global best practices, which include curriculum enhancement. So in curriculum enhancement, if you see the countries, even developed countries, they are continuously evaluating, continuously enriching the curriculum. So we should implement it. Every year, we should add something which is very relevant or which is very emerging areas into our syllabus, right, into our curricula. Then the curricula should be in the like different subject, interdisciplinary, interactive. Interdisciplinary in sense, say for example, one subject, say bioinformatics, where you integrate or you marriage of biology with computer, use of IT skills to understand your biology, which will take you completely different ways, right? Again, if you see another one more subject like neuromarketing, here you understand how your brain works, what happens inside the brain while taking the decision, right? And
right.
Which part of the brain become active. So in that case, again, you are understanding neurobiological principle, neurological principle, understand the functionality of your brain, how it works while taking positive decision. I mean, which part of the brain become active so that you take appropriate decision of purchasing that product. So there is like a marriage of two science, interdisciplinary. I think we should adopt that interdisciplinary. One more thing, that is credit system. In global best practices, credit system, what happened? Suppose in order to complete one degree, you need to fulfill or you need to complete that number of credits. Say for example, somebody is doing BE in ENTC and he is having very interest in sound engineering. So in order to complete that degree, you can take some credit from sound engineering. So you will learn the things. You will also get degree and you will learn the thing, required thing. But if you see in our curricula, say for one subject, say mathematics, people leave college because they are not able to fulfill or they are not able to clear that subject. You will not have any opportunity. So we need to adapt that. So flexible learning, whatever credit you want, you like that, even now NEP 2020 and recent update in 2023-24, that can be game changer, where you are thinking about learning by doing, making more and understanding, enhancement of understanding of the students. So if that really implement, it will really change the game, or it will more focus on understanding, learning by doing. Student will understand. Understanding is the most important thing. Then again, the university should give degree along with certain skills, soft skills or certain, it should map with the role that they have to perform in certain business, or they have to perform their role in certain job role likewise. So that can be done.
All right, you have covered a lot of points. In fact, bringing in the flexibility and the credit system, and basically talking about how NEP implementation can be a game changer. Continuing on the same line, sir. We have been talking about NEP for quite a long time. Any best practices that have been implemented, which you would want to share with the audience, and in relevance as to how it fits into the internship, into the industry, academia interface? If you can throw some light on that, it will be really great.
Before we get into the depth of the talk, we always need to understand our economy first. And education should be relevant to the economy. Most often we talk about relevance of education internationally. And we say whatever is the best practices abroad, we will take them up. And then we, all of us, pat each other's back, our academicians, in conferences saying that we are now internationally connected and we are internationally very relevant, but we are not connected to our economy. And then we say there is unemployment. Okay.
That's a
So
good point.
if you look at this maze, Modi sir has given one very good agenda to all of us, and he said Viksit Bharat. So if we follow the Viksit Bharat ideology and we tune our educational practices towards that mission, you break up the economy, 140 crore population, 100 crores of them in the developing India, in the non-metro cities, in the villages. So we are actually 100 years behind. These people are 100 years behind. So we need to focus more on manufacturing and in services. Unfortunately, we should all get into IT. That's not what we all should do. And then we start talking about the best practices internationally. So somewhere we ourselves, the intellectuals, are responsible for bringing these buzzwords, which we call employability quotient, unemployment, theory, okay, industry connect. These are all buzzwords. So I'll just go a bit deeper into it. What we teach in the college, we say, now professors are teaching theory, and they should all go to the industry and do internships and live projects. Well accepted. The industry today, all of us, I worked myself for 20 years in industry, and 15 years I'm a director. So we all also studied in the same colleges, okay? So we didn't come from the sky. So on one side, industry should accept our students as they are, and the faculty also should think, all of us should have confidence in the system that we're teaching theory, we're not teaching fiction. So when you are teaching theory, what is theory? Theory is theorizing practice. So whatever happened in practice on the shop floor, it is put into words, into textbooks, into curriculum, well organized in a way of ascending order of difficulty. That's what we call a curriculum. So it's theory, well said and done. We all should have confidence in that. So what is happening is, on the other side, we find lessening of enrollments and admission, and there's a struggle. So what is the reason for this? It is the chaos and the confusion of our opinion leaders due to social media. Sunday over glorification. We just pick up some buzzwords and glorify. Now young people are all from the generation of phone a friend, audience pool. They're not using their own minds. So when they're not using their minds, they get overawed by this public opinion. That public opinion becomes the knowledge, and that knowledge leads us to chaos, in which we are in the maze of all these buzzwords. So as faculty responsible, let us tell the students that you're all of us, everybody here, are studying the right colleges, and professors are teaching theory, which is fine. Maybe you increase live projects, maybe you increase internships, wherever, national, international, doesn't matter. Nation building is a big task. Next 50 years, there cannot be unemployment in this country. There's a lot of work to do. So let's not fear unemployment. Somebody says there's less of placements happening this year. Nothing to worry. There's so much of possibilities. We just need to find out what's the right place. We need to study. So for example, there are 550 districts in this country. And there are 40,000 colleges. There are 1,000 universities. So if all of us adopt a particular district and find out what best can be done in those districts, and together as intellectuals, we sit together and decide that these are the kind of people that are needed to develop the economy, and accordingly, we create the demand for those specific education professionals, then a lot can be done. Okay, I thought of, because you said about NEP and the best practices that can be done by us, I would say with all confidence in this forum that everybody is trying to do their best. May not be they are doing the best, but let them not doubt that they are doing the best. Okay, and create more of internships, more of live projects, make education more practical, but do not doubt the education system. Everybody, 40,000 colleges are doing the job, the 10 lakh faculty members, the 4 crore students. There cannot be a shortage of in any colleges, because 100 crore with 70% below the age of 30. So between the age group of 18 to 24, there should be at least be 18 crores of students studying, while we only have 4 crores. So that means there's still such a big market. We need just to find the relevance and the linking up to each other and share the confidence that all is well in this great country. Thank you so much.
Well, that was a good perspective you brought to the discussion, sir. It's about looking at the economic development through education, or education looking into the economic of the local populace. So if I may say, you were like the ambassador for the Vocal for Local initiatives. Thank you so much for bringing that up. But many points. You also spoke about the LTP, the lecture, theory, and the practical part of it, which needs to merge together, keeping in mind the localization rather than looking at globalization initially. Right. So thank you so much. That was something that we take away. We still have time. We will have one more round of going through. So continuing again on the collaboration. Any different thoughts or any point of view from your side which would help our Indian students be, first of all, locally relevant and at the same time globally applicable?
Actually, there's a lot that can be done, and there's a lot that's already being done.
Right.
Okay, and I echo his thoughts where he said that let us not doubt what we are doing. I think it's very fashionable to doubt what we are doing. So my suggestion is, let's start a new fashion that we will not doubt what we are doing. We will be very confident of what we are doing. That's the first thing that we should do. When we speak about collaborations, one of the need in today's context is, because we are talking about skill, we are talking about the skill gap, which is a very abused word in today's context, right? Everybody is speaking about skill gap, and they blame it on industry-academia collaboration. They blame it on the syllabus. They blame it on the curriculum. They blame it on the pedagogy. But let me assure you that all these new age schools and new age universities and new age institutions, and even the traditional ones, they are sensitive of this and they are doing a lot. So let me give you a few examples of collaboration, what they are doing. So when you speak about local things, there are some of my colleagues who spoke about centers of excellence. Now, what do you think, what is the purpose that this center of excellence is serving? One of the first things that it is trying to do is it is trying to bridge the gap between industry and academia, right? They are taking some kind of projects from the industry and they are trying to churn out some kind of a knowledge which is relevant to the industry and which is relevant to the academia, right? That's one thing that they are doing. They are doing a lot of projects on behalf of the industry, and I can speak about my university. We have, some of our students are doing a project with, let's say, Colgate, for example, and they are helping Colgate, and this is just between you and me, we are a close family now, right? So I don't want you to go out and claim this. But I'm just taking that name randomly. So there is a communication strategy that needs to be worked out, and we have got a design school, and one of the best design schools, and students are learning communications design, and they can actually be doing a lot of work for companies like these. There's a need for a packaging design, right? There is a need for even the interior design for that matter. I am a company, I am a traditional company, I want a new look to my office. I can go to a design school and I can say that, boss, can you help me develop a new look office? So I'm saying there are so many avenues of collaboration, and whatever avenues I have quoted are the ones that we are practicing. In addition to this, UGC has started a wonderful concept called as professors of practice. Now, this has been there for quite some time, and most of the universities and institutes have now started recruiting professors of practice. What is the logic behind that? You know, because enough has been said about it. One of the most important things, as I understand, is can we get today's knowledge to today's students? So when we say professors of practice, we are not saying a person who has retired from the industry probably 5 years back and who you are bringing on board as a professor of practice, then it defeats the purpose. Right? Do you have a professor of practice who is current? That is the idea. Right? So if I have got an investment banker who comes and teaches my student on how to take investment decisions or how to do portfolio planning or whatever, that possibly brings a much better relevance to the entire collaboration rather than having a retired investment banker who retired maybe 5 years back and coming in today, because the landscape is changing very fast, right? I think one important thing when we are talking about collaboration is the rate of change, right? There's a very oft-repeated sentence which says that you cannot be teaching students of tomorrow, the teaching being done by faculty of yesterday and with knowledge of day before yesterday, right? Those days are gone. So these concepts are very, very important. And just to wake up all those who are here and very patiently waiting for me to finish, I just want to quote 2 lines, and this is in honor of all the faculty, and I am also one of the faculty members, right? And it goes like this: "Kabhi kabhi यूं ही हमने अपने जी को बहलाया है, कभी कभी यूं ही हमने अपने जी को बहलाया है, जिन बातों को खुद नहीं समझे औरों को समझाया है."
All right, yeah. Okay, so that would mean that we would need to have the relevant practices coming in from the industry, and they becoming professors in the academics, right? So that's the marriage.
One small thing is, because again we are talking about skill, you know, what is the most important skill that is required today, right? And for future, because we are talking about developing leaders of tomorrow, right? In my view, and I think everybody will echo my sentiments, by the time an engineer is passing out, half of the knowledge is obsolete. And this is a case with every field. I mean, I am an engineer and therefore I am quoting that example, right? But I think the best skill and the most important skill today is the ability to learn. Learning how to learn is the only skill. And unfortunately, that is not taught anywhere.
Wow, okay. So maybe we go in the reverse order with just few, like the last comments that you would want to make. On a few words that I will just throw, it's like a quick fire. Community. What would you say in the context of all that we are talking about? What is the relevance of community?
See, now we hear the buzzword that is environment, sustainability and governance.
All right.
Now this is the new buzzword that is happening, and in the United States, there's an ESG score. Now if you look at the ESG scores of, say, a food company, it's very high. Okay, and if you look at the EV company, car EV company, the famous one, Tesla, it's very low. Now, if you see how the scoring has been done, ESG, the person who is making electric vehicles should have a higher score, and the food person who is actually polluting the environment in many ways should have a lower score, but it's vice versa. Because this is done from the financial point of view. From the leading financial firms are doing it. So we are picking up that ESG. Now we look at India, okay? This is there in our culture from thousands of years. We talked about environment, we talk about sustainability, we talk about governance. It is there in our holy books, it is there in Gita, it is there in everything, okay? Our spiritual leaders teach all these things. Dharma is absolutely everything, okay? conducting the business in the most ethical, moral way. Now, we learn this from the West when they say the word community. But thousands of years back, our own forefathers have done these wonderful things. So just one point in an education forum I will always like to talk, maybe in the context of business education. We always say that what we're teaching is becoming irrelevant. For example, if you go to B schools, we're following all these Peter Taylor, Fayol, and all these,
The psychology.
These business gurus from the West. The oldest guru is Kautilya, who taught Arthashastra. So that was what he taught in the context of kingdoms, which is all relevant in the context of companies today. So we should understand that business education was taught thousands of years back in our own scriptures. Now we have come up in the new education policy by saying Indian knowledge systems, but everything is there existing. So for all this fuss, whenever the buzzwords are coming, we go back to our mythology, and you'll see all our 7 gurus, 7 seers have done everything. We just need to retrieve them. We retrieve a lot on our mobiles, but if we go back and retrieve to our spiritual books, everything is there. Thank you so much.
All right, okay, thank you so much. So you touched upon the IKS, the Indian Knowledge Systems. So the word that I give you would be the curriculum, sir.
Okay. In terms of curriculum, basically, we have to add interdisciplinary. Again, we have to make our curriculum more and more rigorous, relevant, and responsive to the industry. Then we have to set the curriculum in terms of what is the requirement of industry, current, existing, or you can say what are interdisciplinary and what is happening basically in the industry. And that you need to implement, like AI, like machine learning, or whatever, cloud computing. So that should be implemented in curriculum, and that should be frequently changed in that curriculum. Because we see our university and how the iteration are very less. Maybe after 3 years, after 5 years, we change that curricula. But normally in foreign universities, they change within 1 year. Every year there is new addition, new deletion, new updation. And they are making their curriculum very relevant to the current, what is expectation of industry. They are adding certain, like credit system we have already talked. And even there is one aspect, or in order to enhance our, you can say, curricula, or give more to the students, we will have more and more international student exchange or faculty exchange, because it will not only add value to, it will not only help to understand culture, but it will help to exchange of skills, exchange of the way of doing towards it. Say for example, research, how you are doing here and how the other universities, they are doing that research. Then again, it will not only polish your managerial skill, but it will also add value to your personality as a whole. So maybe there are different practices where we can use, or even in terms of curricula, there is continuous improvement can be done, can be make more and more relevant, more and more rigorous in order to say. Thank you.
All right, okay, thank you so much. Madam was talking about collaboration, so if you can probably sum it up.
Yes, so quickly to sum it up, I must say, like, if we think about Indian talent, so no matter you go in which country, you will see that Indian talent have made their space in the countries. So why we can't do this here in India itself? Because those are the Indians who are doing there. So the question here is that we don't give them or provide them that platform where they can work and feel like this is their work and they have to make an impact. So for that impact, this collaboration is important. And by doing this collaboration, the gap between our education and the delivery will going to be matched. Because the problem here is in India, which I felt personally, that we are really good in education, we are really good in talents, but our talents don't get recognized. Where we feel like any new ideas are just pressed because this is not a good idea, you can't do this, it cannot happen. So we have to change our mind, because everything is possible. No matter what you do, it is just an opportunity opportunity or you have to stand out from your comfort zone to make that thing happen. And this is the possibility you can get in foreign countries, because they don't say that your idea is not workable or your idea is wrong. They just say, let's try it, let's see how it works, and then it actually started working. So my point, if we can actually give the opportunity to our students, we can actually let them think about the impact, whatever they are doing. Look at the impact, look at who is going to be benefited by this, and let's start doing it. I must say, lot of projects which are happening in India at the minute are going towards success very fast in comparison to places abroad. The reason behind that, because we have idea, we have the opportunity, it is just the implementation where we actually lag behind. So people, students who got this opportunity are able to make the space in the their place. And that's how they actually managed to make these programs and very successful. Like small projects which we say is that they started with the startups, and yeah, there is a failure in the startup, but think about those startups which are started from India and now going abroad as well. So I would like to sum up that collaboration is important, but at the same time, just think about what you have and try to improve those qualities before actually thinking about going abroad.
All right, okay. So it's about getting everyone on the same page. Right, yes, sir. Continuing on the industry on campus, I would want to know your thoughts on competency building. Competency building.
Competency building. Point number one, because it is rapid fire. Competency is a combination, as I understand, of the knowledge, skill, attitude and values. And any real world project, as said earlier, when our students and faculty, they work with the industry. And when I say industry, contextually as a part of quadruple helix, government, industry, social institutions and community.
All of them, yeah.
It is a natural process of building this competency. Point number two, we provide through our centers or any other means this platform for our teachers and students to meaningfully interact with these quadruple helix, these insert. And point number three, it's a continual process. It cannot be say, okay, my competence is developed. So it evolves as the student and also the faculty will move forward in their career. Thank you.
Oh, wow, thank you so much, sir. Okay, so if we may ask, Professor, in terms of the capacity building that would be needed if we were to look at solving the grassroots level problems.
Actually, we are living in very fast changing era. So, university should change according to the need of the society and our faculty members and other technicians are to be updated time to time. Refresher courses must be attended by the faculty members, and we have to be in close contact to the industries nearer to that university also, so that we know the actual position of the industries, and sometimes professor of the subject thinks that is the very well versed in their subject, but in practical aspect they have to change themselves as a industry's need and a society's need. तो हमें लगता है हमेशा कि हमें आज के संदर्भ में जो भी नई बातें हैं, चाहे सामान्य व्यक्ति ही इंडस्ट्री का क्यों ना, उनसे सीखते रहना चाहिए. दूसरी बात ये है कि NAC भी, देयर इज ए एक्सपेक्टेशन फ्रॉम NAC टू आप अपने सिलेबस को, अपने करिकुलम को चेंज करते रहिए. परसेंटेज भी पूछते हैं वो, कितना परसेंट आपने चेंज किया. क्योंकि उसी से पता चलता है कि उन्होंने अपने को अपडेट किया है कि नहीं किया है, अपने को आउटडेटेड तो नहीं कोर्सेज चला रहे हैं। ये सब तभी संभव है जब वैसे ही अवेयरनेस होगा, वैसे ही सब कुछ हमारे जो मेंबर्स होंगे बोर्ड के या और भी जो सभी कमेटियों के मेंबर होंगे वो अवेयरनेस हो, उसमें जाने और अपने अपने सब्जेक्ट के बारे में वो जो लेटेस्ट जो जानकारी है उसको रखें, तभी वो संभव होगा। ये देखा गया है कि वो बहुत ज़्यादा चेंज करना पसंद नहीं करते। ये स्थिति अगर आती रहेगी और ज़्यादा हम संपर्क में रहेंगे तो स्वाभाविक है कि हमारे लैब वैसे ही अपडेट होते रहेंगे, अच्छी चीज़ें आती रहेगी, हमारे टीचर लेटेस्ट नॉलेज रखेंगे तो उसका लाभ स्टूडेंट को मिलेगा। एक्चुअल में अभी का जो वातावरण है पढ़ने में, क्लास अटेंड करने में स्टूडेंट का थोड़ा कम हुआ है, उनको मोटिवेट करना ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है। और ऐसा मैं समझता हूँ कि कुछ समय तक जो हम लोग केवल औपचारिकता के नाम से कुछ प्रोजेक्ट करवाते हैं या कुछ उनको असाइनमेंट देते हैं, उसको प्रैक्टिकली ज़्यादा गंभीरता से लें और फील्ड में जाके काम ज़्यादा करें तो उससे उसका लाभ होगा, ऐसा मैं समझता हूँ। तो कोलैबोरेशन जो है वो ज़्यादा
The relevancy and the applicability.
Yes.
We'll use that for capacity building. Yes. Okay, madam. Any thoughts on the credit system that would help in better curriculum design and better collaboration?
All right, and since you said this is the last word, I
Yes.
would like to first thank you, all the organizers, the sponsors, for having this interesting event. So thank you very much for having us on the panel here.
Thank you, madam.
While you're talking about credits, I happen to work with the NEP committee, and therefore I'm very familiar with the credit framework that has been designed for various first-year undergrad programs, the postgrad programs, as well as the non-traditional degree programs. And I think NEP has done a fairly fantastic job. What the focus and what is very lovely about NEP is the choice that they have given to the student with regards to credits. That is one part of it. So as the student today, like one of my co-panelists just mentioned, we can move around. I can start studying in physics, but then if I have interest in maybe a little bit of computer science, I can pick up a few credits from there. So that flexibility which has come into the system is absolutely marvelous. So that's one part of the credit system. Now the second thing about the credits is this mobility is actually very well supported by the NAD or the ABC portals, where it's like a bank. Now, I'm not now forced to finish my education within a given time. I can take a few credits now, let them sit in the bank. Of course, there's a time limit on that right now. And then come back and complete my credits. Now, in a country like India, this process is going to take time. It's not going to be easy because we are talking of crores of people who would want this kind of system, the mobility, the percentage like Sir just mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Now, and then a dream would be, in my belief, a dream would be that I accumulate credits from different parts. You know, if let's say Sir's University excels in a particular handicraft, I would like to go there and learn that craft from there and get those 2 credits in my bank. Whereas I'd like to perhaps go abroad and earn 4 more credits for something else. And at the end of the day, I want one degree, which is a culmination of all the credits.
All of that, right.
So that would be a dream situation. And of course, practically, not feasible. Not yet, at least, I would say. And the large numbers that deal with, it's not feasible.
Oh, yeah. True.
So right now what we have done is, curriculum is well defined, it's competitive, the credit systems are very similar to the education systems across the world. Because one of the challenges we have always faced is that our students would, take 1 year of a master's program and then go abroad. And we cannot, I mean, we should try to stop it, but then it's their choice. If we can keep them back, if we can give them what they get elsewhere, then they will not go.
The value.
The value system, yes.
Correct. Yeah.
So I believe that's the credits you wanted to wanted me to discuss
absolutely,
about.
absolutely, madam. You hit it on the nail.
Thank you.
Yes.
And so thank you very much to all the panelists. It's been a very enriching experience.
So this credit system brings in the flexibility for the choices, and also brings in the burden of creativity back onto the to the educationists, which is like bringing in the best of the both worlds. Madam, skill sets.
That was the one I was waiting for.
Right.
So we maybe as academicians are continuously talking about upskilling our students, making them more job ready. But we are badly missing on maybe creating the entrepreneurs. This young crowd is extremely, they're full of talent. We as an academician, I feel we should create that, only jigger in them, which, inculcates them to take the required calculate. And it's not only the relation till the time they are passing out their graduation or maybe PG whatsoever. We should be mentoring them till settle in their lives, and that is something which we as an academician sense of fulfillment. So not only focusing on making them job ready, of course that is our primary objective, to make them job ready, but at the same time identifying those learners who can be the better entrepreneurs than the employees at some organizations.
Yes.
So working upon them. So as an academician, I feel it's my responsibility to fetching those people, students, learners, and working upon them, and maybe equipping them with those required skill sets. Thank you so much.
So the need analysis and then mapping it to the necessary skill sets. Sir, we missed you in the first round, so nevertheless, I think the floor is yours. So you can talk about the center of excellence, the capacity building, the competency, and all of it. Maybe like that would be like the ultimate summary of this panel discussion, sir.
Thank you, sir. I represent SNDT Women's University, which is a state public university. So I'm very sorry that I
no problem, sir. No, not at all.
The words you mentioned are very heavy words, and all the esteemed speakers have already spoken a lot. But still, before I talk about those words, as far as my experience is concerned, because I spent almost 28 years in engineering setup as a teacher in engineering college. And recently, for last 1 year, I am associated with the state public university. So where what I notice is, it is an affiliating university. So we have many colleges offering conventional education. And the main concern what I noticed is curriculum design itself in first place.
Right.
We have a NAAC accreditation or say NB and all those things. But what I notice is many things are missing there, like in first place, program educational objectives, those are not clear. So those were the things missing. And then program outcomes, course outcomes. And then the very important what I noticed is most of the teaching learning process in the university, or particularly in affiliated colleges, is at Bloom's first two levels, remember and understand. Whereas the industries and collaborations and all these things what you're talking about, they need people who deal with the last 4 levels only, apply, analyze, evaluate and design.
Yeah.
So I strongly feel that there is a lot to do in this segment, wherein, of course, curriculums are well designed, but then delivery component. People deliver the way they know. NEP 2020 document talks about inquiry-based learning, engaged delivery, and all those things. I think that is the need of our, lot of training is needed as far as faculty members are concerned, so that then they will, deliver the things in line with those last 4 levels of Bloom's taxonomy, and that probably will help to the student. And then assessment.
Right.
Because assessment is completely isolated with the, what we notice is 80% assessment is written. Fortunately, in my university, 50% assessment is internal assessment, where I have been emphasizing for last 1 year that this internal assessment must be project-based, activity-based, and then the very purpose of NEP 2020 will be served. I noticed that in syllabus it is written surprise test, unit test, MCQ. Again, this is the Bloom's first 2 levels.
True.
So there is a lot to do on this front. And coming to the collaboration, of course, as far as my previous institution is concerned, there is a lot of opportunity for international collaborations, but it should start with a very simple thing like having online internships for the student in the beginning. And then I understood from my experience that there are many countries they are looking for Indian brains. They have funds available, and they invite those students. And so, internship can be a low-hanging fruit to start with the collaboration.
Right.
And then later on, we can have a lot of things which can be done. So thank you again for the organization.
Thank you so much, sir. In fact, the thing that was missing while everyone spoke about it was the specific explicit mention of Bloom's taxonomy never came in, but that was intrinsic to the discussion. Recently, because we also brought in IKS, the Indian Knowledge System, and now that Bloom's taxonomy is also here. Just last week, I was in one of the discussions, and it came up that the Bloom's taxonomy levels can be easily applied to our names of the teachers that Indian knowledge system has, right? It starts from the Adhyapak to Pradhyapak to Acharya to Guru, and then Guru Varya and all of it, maybe not in the right sequence, but that was such a wonderful thing to bring in the relevancy. So thank you for bringing that up, sir, and I think that is what sums up all our discussions, and I take all your points, and I hope it will reach to the audience much beyond the physical audience here, because in the new age learning system, we have moved away from place-based system to space-based and pace-based. Because I can learn at any pace, like Madam just said. I can learn in any space, whether I'm here or at home or maybe collaborating with anybody else. So that is what I think is the future of India. And wishing all of us good luck towards working towards Viksit Bharat. Yes, sir. So with that, and madams, with that, I think we can sign off. Thank you so much. Over to you, Rajneesh. Yeah.
Thank you. And that was a nice one. From place-based to space-based to pace-based. Okay, so a small token of appreciation for all our panelists. Can we start with Dr. Siddharth Kantilal Jabade? Can we have the Shangamitra, if you can just hand over the. Yes. Can we start with. we conclude the 4th edition of the National Skill Conclave.